Hey, everybody. A lot going on right now around Major League Baseball. We've arrived at the trade deadline day here, Monday, August 3rd. The official deadline is tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern. Seen a lot of movement today as well as over the weekend. I'm going to keep looking at the MLB trade rumors website as I go here just in case something happens while I'm recording. Obviously, the biggest move was the highly anticipated trade of Tarek Skubal, who the Tigers sent to the Dodgers. Of course, it's the Dodgers trying to win their third World Series in a row. So why not, right? Yeah, they just always making moves. I'm gonna keep looking. Like I said, if something else happens, so you see me look away, that's what I'm checking is the Major League trade rumor site. As everyone knows, our Mets are in a completely opposite position of the Dodgers. We're out of any type of race except for the worst record, and we're looking to sell any players not in the plans for next year, and possibly more players if the right deal comes along. So yeah, in my previous video, I already touched on the AJ Minter trade with Minnesota, which happened at the end of last week. We also saw Freddie Peralta traded over the weekend to Tampa, and then into today where we learned about Huascar Brazaban going to the White Sox, and then most recently Brooks Raley going to the Phillies. We'll take a look at the prospects received by the Mets in all of these deals, and then talk about what other Mets moves we could see today as the deadline approaches. The Mets did play out a 4-game series against the Marlins over the weekend as well, losing 3 of 4. So, maybe we'll skim over that one at the end of the video since it wasn't much to talk about at all. Especially with the games being overshadowed by the trade talks. If we have time, I'll bring that up. But like I said, there wasn't much going on. But all right, so looking at the trades, starting with the AJ Minter trade. Again, we got 2 guys from Minnesota. Basically just something for a rental reliever in Minter. We got Billy Amick, a 23-year-old infielder in Double-A. He has 23 home runs this season. He was a second-round pick in 2024. And then also Bruin Agbayani. He's 19, infielder in Low A. He was the Twins' number 48 prospect, obviously with the name, son of Bene Agbayani. He's currently working his way back from an injury. He was a 6th-round pick in 2025. I'm not going to pretend like I know much about these guys. I'm just going to give like an overview on each of them as we go through the trades, how old they are, what highest level they've reached, and then just a tiny bit of background information that I could get on them. None of these players are big time prospects by any means. I'm thinking with all these guys, all we're really doing is just replenishing our farm system here. And you never know what you're going to get from some of these guys sometimes. Obviously, the guys we gave away are not part of the plans for next year. So anything we can get in return from these teams that are buying, at least it's something for nothing. So, yeah, that's who we got for AJ Minter. We'll see what those guys could do. I believe Amick has already hit a home run for the Mets team he went to, and so hey, we're off to a good start. And we'll, it's going to be a long time till we see how these moves all play out. Then the next move was Freddie Peralta. He was sent to the Rays, who have one of the best farm systems in baseball. I'd have to imagine there was somewhat of a bidding war for Peralta here. So, hey, why not go with the prospects from the Rays, see if we can get some quality talent from them. Guys we got were Emilian Petre. He's a 23-year-old infielder in Double-A. Had no ranking, no prospect ranking that I could find. He has a 943 OPS this year, and he was a second-round pick in 2024. Also from the Rays, Gary Gill-Hill, a 21-year-old starting pitcher in Double-A. He was a 27th ranked prospect in the Rays system. This year he has a 4.43 ERA. He was a sixth-round pick in 2022. Only 21 years old, so the guy got a lot of time to develop. He is already in Double-A though, so we'll see how that goes. And also Aiden Smith, 22-year-old outfielder in High A. He was a number 15 prospect of the Rays. He's more of a speed defense guy, kind of waiting for the bat to catch up with everything. If it does, he was a fourth-round pick in 2023 by the Mariners and was traded to the Rays in the Randy Arozarena deal. After that, we got Huascar Brazoban. He was sent to the White Sox. It would have been nice to hold on to Brazoban, but I guess they figured to move him while his value is at its highest. He was under team control for a few more years, and then the White Sox, I'm sure saw that as a, value for Brazoban and very little money. So he could have, definitely helped the Mets out for the next few years. But like I said, kind of at as high as value, he's like 36 years old, although he's, not, he made it to the majors relatively late in his career, so he's not getting paid much at all, and he's still under team control for a few years. For Brazoban, we got Zach Franklin, a 27-year-old relief pitcher in AAA. No prospect ranking for him. He has a 4.37 ERA this year. He was a 10th round pick in 2023. And also Gabe Davis. He's a 22-year-old starting pitcher in Double-A. I've seen him on like the back half of their top 30. I'm going to say he was around the number 20 range. This guy is very tall, 6'9". So, great mound presence there with that height. We'll see if we could make him into something. He's only 22 years old. He was a fifth-round pick in 2025. White Sox holding on to the AL Central lead, so they're trying to, strike while it's hot right now. They had, terrible years past few seasons, and they made some good moves, developed some players, and they're trying to take advantage of a weak American League this year and see if they can make some noise. So they've made a couple moves that I've seen. So we'll see how that one plays out. Obviously a 6'9" pitcher. Hey, see how it goes. And then finally today, we saw Brooks Raley go to the Phillies. Raley's set to be a free agent after the season, so he was an obvious trade piece. And, I really don't like helping out the Phillies, but, sometimes you don't have choices, and, when teams know that you're getting rid of players. So we'll see if anything comes from the guys they sent us. Looks like from them we got Luke Gabrish, 23-year-old starting pitcher, still in High A. He has a 5.14 ERA. He's a 15-round pick in 2024, not ranked among their prospects, so just a lottery ticket, really. And then this guy, John Spikerman, also 23, an outfielder in high A. He was listed as the number 27 prospect in the Philly system, which is not really a highly regarded system throughout in most of these media sites that follow this type of thing. Also, Spikerman looks more of a speed defense guy in the outfield, and he was a pretty decent draft pick, 3rd round in 2024. So we'll see what we can get, what we can make out of this guy. Again, it's just like something for a rental in these moves. So we'll look at, let me check real quick to see if anything else happened. That is literally the speed at which events are occurring. Nothing else really. A couple other moves across baseball. A lot of talk. But yeah, well, I mean, we still got a couple hours, like 5 hours until the trade deadline. So we'll look at some of the other guys that the Mets have been discussed in possibly moving, but haven't been yet. Namely Clay Holmes. Been some discussion around him. I saw like the Brewers are interested, and who else was like the Pirates possibly. But hey, if we could flip him to, I mean, I don't want to trade him, but it's probably for the best. I was hoping they could get something worked out and maybe have him sign a extension, maybe 2-3 years, possibly even buy low a little bit with him coming off the broken leg that he's apparently about to come back dealing with. But he has made some rehab assignments, so we'll see. He pitched great for us this year, so I'm sure he'll get maybe something similar to what we got with Peralta. But especially one of the ideas I heard kicked around is pairing him up with Luke Weaver as kind of like a package deal for one of these teams that need a starter and a reliever. And that would be just an amazing prospect package we could get back for those guys. I could see the Brewers swinging that deal, and that is a team we want to make a deal with because they're like the number 2 or number 1 farm system. I saw it was like between them, the Rays and the Braves are all highly considered. But neither of those guys have been moved yet. We also got Tyrone Taylor, who's on a little power surge in the past couple weeks. We'll see how it goes. If anyone values him, I mean, most likely, team need an outfield defense and probably a right-handed bat to face left-handed pitching. That's where his value lies. He's a free agent at the end of the year, so if we can get something for him, that'll be great. I wouldn't expect a whole lot, but probably another one of these lottery pick prospects, and then maybe even Lewis Robert Jr. He came back. He had a little, that one moonshot home run, and then he hit another one against the Dodgers. But other than that, he hasn't really done much at all. I think he had a 2 RBI single in the most recent series against the Marlins. But other than that, he's I don't know. Maybe a team will just give us something and hope for the best, or there are money obligations with him. So I mean, the Mets might even get stuck with him. And then, as I mentioned, Luke Weaver. Um, I really hope we don't trade him because, I mean, we already gave up Brazoban out of our bullpen. I don't know what our bullpen is going to look like next year, but I mean, really, you look at what Weaver's done, and it's kind of flown under the radar because it hasn't resulted in many wins for the team. But he's been definitely a bright spot in on our team, one of the few bright spots on the team this year, and he's under contract for next year. So it's kind of tough. I mean, I know they talk about volatility of relievers, so trying to take advantage of Weaver while his value is so high right now. I mean, he has a 1.84 ERA in 44 innings, 45 strikeouts. All his numbers look really good. 32 years old, like I said, under contract for next year. But I mean, I don't know. I think he's just a solid reliever that can also help us next year as well. People want to make a big deal because he struggled a little bit last year with the Yankees. I mean, if 3.62 ERA is the worst he's going to put out, then that's pretty good, and especially when you don't have to be. He's not going to be the closer most likely, although he'll get his fair share of opportunities, hoping we have some leads next year, hoping there is a next year. But yeah, I don't know, unless packaging him with Holmes really gets us an over the top deal. I'd prefer to keep Weaver. I mean, obviously the rest of this year is a wash, so it won't matter so much for us this year, but I'm hoping hoping there's a season next year and we require a guy to close games where we have leads or help bridge to the closer in those games. But those are the guys that have not been moved yet, where there's a lot of talk about them. But we'll see how all that goes. So yeah, nothing else really has happened in the time I've been recording. At least for the Mets, there are other teams making moves. Phillies made a move to get Luis Arias and their Giants closer. So they're trying to take advantage of the window they have with their core. White Sox made another move. Who else? Just looking at some of these, a bunch of guys in talks. Nothing really. Well, nothing's going to be as big as the Skubal trade, but a lot of guys being shipped out, pitching, hitters, all types of moves being made, and there's still a couple hours to go. So I would imagine we'll see a lot of action in the next few hours. So stay tuned. We'll see what the Mets do. All right, so we'll touch briefly on the 4-game series we just played against the Marlins. So we were coming off winning 2 out of 3 against the Braves. Almost had a sweep, but couldn't get anything off Chris Sale in the last game. Dropped the 1-0 to them. Coming into the Marlins series, they're fighting for a playoff spot. They were victimized by that long-ass losing streak they had, but they're still hanging in there. And then they're looking even better now, having won 3 out of 4 against the Mets. The first game was the one that the Mets won 4-2. McLean threw 6 1/3 innings, 6 strikeouts, gave up 2 runs on 2 solo home runs. Other than that, he had 6 hits and 2 walks. Brooks Raley 1 2/3 innings with a strikeout, and then Devin Williams came on in the last inning with 2 strikeouts to get the save. This is the game where I mentioned Lewis Robert had the 2 RBI single. Other than that, Bichette was 2 for 4 with a double and a run. Lindor 1 for 4 with an RBI. So Mets win the opener there. At that point, they had won 4 out of 5 games, considering the last game versus the Dodgers, 2 out of 3 versus the Braves, and then this one. So we go on to game 2. Freddie Peralta was scratched from his start just due to all the trade talk building up. So in his place, we started Kodai Senga. He actually looked pretty decent for the first couple innings, and then finally cracked. He lasted 4 innings with 4 strikeouts, gave up 3 runs. Was charged with 3 runs on 2 hits and 2 walks. Xavier Curry relieved Senga. He pitched the final 5 innings with 2 strikeouts. He also gave up 2 runs on 6 hits. In this game, Lindor was 2 for 3 with a home run. Ben's 3 for 4 with a double. Mets had 7 hits, 2 walks, and 12 strikeouts. So we move on to game 3 of the series. We got the Marlins winning by a score of 6-2. Zach Thornton had a rough start in this one. It's going to happen. He's not going to come out and just shut every team down. So there's going to be these little bit of hiccups. I'm not too bothered by it. He only lasted 4 2/3 with 2 strikeouts, gave up 3 earned runs on 6 hits and 3 walks. We'll see what Zach does next time out. Like I feel he's a solid piece for our rotation going forward, and I expect him to get back on track in the next start. Duarte, inning and a third with a strikeout. He also gave up some runs, 2 runs on 3 hits. And then Pintaro and Harrogate pitched the last 3 innings. Tyrone Taylor, a home run in this one, responsible for the only 2 runs the Mets scored. Lindor was 2 for 4. Mets had 7 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts. And then the Mets go into game 4, hoping to get a split of the series, but couldn't get anything going in this one against Sandy Alcantara. He shut the Mets down for 6 innings. He left with some runners on. I believe we even had bases loaded with no outs at that point. Yeah, he had a single, a double, and a walk. They brought in Michael Peterson for the Marlins. Walked Semien to load the bases. No outs. The score was 1-0 at that point. Jorge Polanco, who is just terrible right now, he came up, struck out. Francisco Alvarez struck out, and then A.J. Ewing grounded out. So we stranded the bases loaded there. Could have easily tied the game or taken a lead if he was one of them guys. The first 2 outs had put the ball in play, but Polanco, like I said, he's not even like a professional level player at this point. It's really bad. I know he's better than that, but we need to see it, and I don't know. It's kind of disgusting to watch. Mets had another chance in the 8th. Francisco Lindor led off the inning with a double. It was still 1-0 at that point, but Bichette popped out, Benj grounded out, and then Robert flew out to the outfield. Devin Williams came on in the 9th. It was still 1-0 at that point. He gave up a single and a single to Otto Lopez. Then he stole second. He was knocked in on a little liner to center field, making it 2-0. And then the Mets couldn't get anything in the ninth. We had a leadoff walk by Jared Young. Semien popped out. Polanco again struck out. Guy just is trash at this point. Alvarez walked in to put 2 runners on, put the 2 tying runs on, but Ewing once again couldn't do anything. Popped out to the outfield. End the game. Mets lost 3 out of 4 in this one. Just looking at the series, 15-8. We were outscored in the 4 games. Mets dropped to 47-66. 4-6 on the season against the Marlins, so we will play them again. Have a chance to win the season series against them if we sweep them, but it's kind of opposite of the Braves, where we have to avoid getting swept to win the season series. This time we need to sweep the Marlins to get the season series win. So yeah, this terrible season continues. Now we're at the point where everyone's been looking forward to for the past couple weeks with all the trade talk, and it's finally come to a head here. We'll see who else gets moved. See if they do trade Holmes. See if they do trade Weaver. I mean, I would imagine Taylor's as good as gone. And then, I don't know, with Robert, like, who really even cares at this point? But, basically just time to restock the shelves in the farm system. We had one of the better farm systems, going into last year. Obviously, we've seen a couple of them guys up on the major league team now with McLean, Benj, Ewing this year. You want to have a good farm system, but most importantly, you want guys that are going to come up and help the team. I mean, having a good farm system does also help you make trades to get pieces that you need and fill spots where you have vacancies or just need upgrades. But I think what we're going to see from the Mets going forward here is trying to develop some of our own talent. We've done pretty good on the pitcher side. Just this year, we got 3 guys that came up through our system. And now the 2 batters that we rolled out this year. So we're just going to keep collecting prospects, I guess, and see if we can develop them in the major league players at some point. And if that does happen with any of these trades that we've made, then it can be considered a success, especially for players that weren't going to be around. So, hey, we'll continue watching today up to the trade deadline, see what else happens. But, I mean, this is what this season has come down to. One of the, if not the worst season I can recall being a Mets fan. I mean, when compared to expectations, there's really no other way to see it. And this is going back a long ass time. Like, it's almost to the point where it's laughable. I mean, I've seen seasons where we played well the entire year and then came down to the end and choked or whatever. But really, I mean, we're only just past the halfway point, 100 or so games into the season, and it's already over. And we're looking at, what prospects we're going to trade these free agents for. It's a little bit depressing, but hey, it's something going on. If nothing else, the Mets have been good for creator content so far this year, and it's mostly in a negative light. So We'll see what happens. All right, take care, Mets fans. Peace.